As we enter into the fall semester and prepare to deal with the uncertainty of what we're going to be dealing with this year, I've been asked to talk about how I use communication with my online classes. First of all, I think that communication in an online class serves two specific functions. One of them is the obvious function of relaying information. This is how we are choosing to communicate with our students. It's how we communicate with them and share with them dates and deadlines and assignments. But something else is done through communication with online students, and that is the development of a relationship. I think that's why so many of us would favor a face-to-face class experience than the online class experience. Face-to-face allows for more relationship development, and that was something that many of us sorely missed at the end of the spring. So how do I use communication with my online classes? Well, first of all, I usually write on a schedule that has 2 emails a week. The first email is written on the first day of the academic week and relates all the information they need to know for the coming week, including projects, assignment, deadlines, that kind of thing. The second email comes midweek and kind of tells them when the very first assignment is due, and then again just reminds them of what's coming up for the remainder of the week. Let's talk first about that first day email. Depending on whether the academic week is running from Monday to Sunday, or Wednesday to Tuesday, depending on what semester or session we're in and what the calendar demands. My first email comes the first day of class for that academic week. It will include a welcome that often includes something topical and relevant to the time, like if there's anything in the news, if there's anything going on with the weather that could affect the class, I recognize it and speak to it in that opening paragraph. I also let them know where we are in the session. This is Unit 1. We are entering Unit 2 this week. We are starting our 3rd week of class together. Then I provide a bulleted list of the assignments for the week. That bulleted list would include deadlines and assignment dates. It doesn't have to be a bulleted list, but I love bullets, so there you go. And then it also includes information about when they can expect to hear back from me. For instance, if this is the week after they've turned in a speech in my online speech class, I will let them know when they can expect to hear from me with a critique of their speech and recommendations for their next speech on how to improve it. Now let's go to the second email. My second email usually takes place 2 days later. On a Wednesday to Tuesday schedule, it would appear on Friday morning. On a Monday to Sunday schedule, it would appear on Wednesday morning. But it is typically the date that the first assignment is due. That assignment is traditionally the first post in the discussion board for the week. And so I will, again, greet them and include any pertinent information that's going on in the world around me. I'll remind them that their first assignment is due on this day by 11:55. I will also go over the remainder of the assignments for the week. They need to be reminded of those. And then catch them up on where I am on any grading or any involvement with their materials from the last week that have been submitted. And so I have those emails go out every week. First day, third day. When I first started teaching online classes, I was writing these emails from scratch every week. A new session would begin, I would write all these emails from scratch. But then, in a conversation with Christy Stout, who is also an online instructor for Bluefield, she told me that she kind of wrote boilerplate messages that she could save and use from session to session. And so I took that advice and started doing that myself. And it's very helpful. I mean, you gives you a starting point for your email at least. Now, there is a caveat with that. You have to keep it pertinent and you have to keep it current. The weekly schedule changes. If you go from a Monday, Sunday week to a Wednesday, Tuesday week, you've got to make sure that you update your assignments and your deadlines. If not, you're going to get frantic emails from students saying, I don't understand, when is this assignment due? So go through and check all of your deadlines. Also, don't include hard dates. Don't put it will be due on October 15th because that's great for the fall session, but it's not going to work come spring or winter or summer. Just do it by day of the academic week. It's due on Tuesday. It's due by Friday. And also make sure that any topical references that you've included in your greeting are pertinent. You look really goofy if you've said, hi, I hope you're enjoying this cold, wintry snow day, and that's an email that you copied from last spring, or last winter, and it is going out in June. Students are like, what are they talking about? So make sure to go through and update. Make sure you're reading through the email and not just blindly copying it and sending it. In addition to those 2 weekly emails, I will send emails as needed to answer questions from students. Anytime I answer an individual student, one of the things that is very important to me and I think helpful to the student is to include their name in the email. Hi, Frank. Hi, Frederick. Hi, Marilyn. Thanks for your question. I remember when I was a boy, my father asked me to read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one of the things that Carnegie mentioned in his textbook is include people's names in the conversation. It's always stuck with me. And it's something I do in these response emails. It helps the student to know that you know who you're talking to, that they are important to you. And frequently over the course of the semester, I will begin to develop a real relationship with the student because of the amount of times they've written me. Reply to emails promptly. Don't let them sit and get dust on them. I am an acknowledged electronics addict, which means I'm always on my phone or my iPad or my computer. And so students typically hear from me within minutes, unless they're writing at 2 o'clock in the morning. There are plenty of times I'm reading in bed at 1 o'clock when I get an email, and they will still hear from me in minutes. But don't let more than 24 hours pass on a communication without it being completed or being responded to. I also, in my courses, encourage students to post a photo to their personal information. I found for me that it makes them more than just a faceless collection of assignments and emails and reflections. It gives them personality. I can see that picture and know who I'm dealing with. And I think that's important. I think it helps us demystify the vagaries of electronic education and try to keep it on a more personal basis. And so I encourage you to do that. I make mine a graded assignment. They get 1 extra points credit at the end of the semester, at the end of the session, based on whether they have posted that picture or not. This is how I use email and communication with my students. It's certainly not the only way. I'm sure many of you have tried things that worked very effectively. I would love to hear those shared and see how I can improve what I'm doing. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me, and I hope you're enjoying this snow day. Thanks.